Hello, good day. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dennis, and this is my art channel. Today we're going to be trying something a little bit different, something new. I've picked up this bottle of Iridescent medium, watercolor medium by Winsor and Newton. The effect that it should give is some sort of a shimmer, some sort of a shine effect. I've never used this particular medium before. I did make a video a couple of months ago now about Oxgall medium, and that works as a wetting agent. This one here isn't so much about extending the watercolor as it is changing the effects and giving it a new kind of look. I'd even say like the bottle there says to mix with a transparent pigment, and it'll become it can become a new color, an iridescent version of any watercolor. So going into this, I feel like it would look a little better on a darker page. I don't have any black watercolor paper to test this out with, so I'm gonna go in and try to wash this page with as much dark kind of pigment as I can. I'm going with every blue that I've got on the palette right now as a start, but in general I think that violet is one of the darker colors on this palette, so I'm gonna push the painting in that direction to build up that color, because I feel like I can't go right in with this medium, although I did pour it straight out of the bottle onto my old little cup there. I did pour it straight out, but I don't think that I can straight use it. I'm going to first add a lot of water and a lot of base watercolor. Mixing the reds and the blues, trying to develop my own violet, and really applying a lot of pigment. This is a medium large size page, I think 8 by 10ish, and it does take a bit of work to get all the page covered in color. That said, working on it. Big splash of blue. Mix it around, find all the light areas, anything that's untouched. Looking at this now, maybe using a bit of Oxgall at this point could have been helpful to just help spread some of this color around a bit more. But now that I've got a decent wash on the page, I'm going in with a smaller brush and just playing around, making some marks, combining some areas, mixing some new colors, applying some new colors, making some lines, forming some shapes. These are the things that art is made of. Little flick of the brush. And again, just more and more color. But for this painting, I'm not thinking too much of color. I really am keeping it kind of 2-tone, 3-tone, and simple. The most variety I think of adding is this, the vermilion is acting almost like a orange, but then as I push it into the blue, it blends in and becomes another kind of crimsony, plumish kind of color. maybe a salmon in some of the areas, but that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from these colors. I do pop in a bit of my dioxazine. Always confused how to pronounce that word. I'm gonna figure it out someday, y'all. But put it in the purple, the pre-mixed purple. Quite an elegant little color. Pushing it in. I feel like it doesn't blend so nicely with the other colors. It kind of stands on its own. So I don't push too much into it. I do try to break up some of the areas and mix it with the rest, but I do like the look of that just by itself. Now is time. The full page is covered. I grab a bit of color and mix it around the medium. Pick it up on the brush and it comes off like a bit of a silvery white kind of color initially. I do have to immediately go back in and work it into the painting, at least this kind of application that I'm doing. I don't really want it to be just a solid glaze over the painting. I want to work in this medium somehow and make it, incorporate it as a part of the painting and a part of the process as well. I think we're about halfway through this video. I know that it was more time that I spent on this painting with the medium than without, so take what you will with the amount of speed up that was done here. I think I blend it with the blue next, but really the color mixed with the medium does make just an iridescent color of the whatever the color is. So I can make an iridescent blue, an iridescent red, iridescent violet. I would have to maybe make a few more, get a couple more cups, maybe use the area on the palette there. But honestly, like, one of the issues that I have with this medium after working with it is just it is quite dirty to work with. I mean, it feels like the wrong word to use just because it's not dirty, it is paint, but it does remind me of glitter in the sense that it literally does get everywhere. And the one time that I dipped my brush back onto one of my palette wells, I could see the sparkle that's left over by the brush, and I don't think that I'd get a good shot of it. Actually, I should have gotten a shot of it, but the water and the reservoir, the water in my cup ends up being a sparkly violet as it builds up, and I wash more and more of this away. At this point, I've figured out that the medium will fully incorporate the color, so I start mixing in the blue and the red, making a violet, iridescent violet, giving a big application in the upper right area there. I already have a fair amount in the kind of left area that I'm putting my brush into. You can see as it builds up the medium, well, actually it's the inverse. It becomes hard to see where I put down the medium because the light, my desk lamp is reflecting so much of it. It's catching into the camera, so it's becoming like a white spot on the painting. I think in real life it would take a bit of adjustment, a bit of natural lighting would probably be good for a painting like this to get the most out of the shimmer of the iridescent medium. It is always important to get some good lighting on paintings. I feel like there are some paintings that need like full lighting, like might even benefit from having like a dedicated light source if you're going to mount it. And there's some paintings that benefit from being in a darker place without the light hitting it. And I think back to the Phillips collection in DC has like a Rothko room, and they keep it at a cool, dark, kind of very ambient light. There's no direct light really hitting the paintings, and it feels much more subdued, and I feel like the effects of the paintings are enhanced because of the viewing experience. I feel a similar way here, except the opposite, where a good, well-lit room is going to enhance the effect of the iridescence, as any direction that you start to look at it is going to be reflecting in different ways. There's a bit of shimmer across all parts, every square centimeter of this page. There's definitely some concentrations in that upper area. I feel like compositionally it is asymmetrical in that way. It needs to be a bit odd in how it's covered. Actually, you can see now, the camera zoomed out a little bit now, and you can see when I drop the brush, a little twirl and the shine of the medium rolling around in the vessel. Honestly, pretty. Looks pretty cool. Yeah. I've really enjoyed working with this medium. I'm not sure when I'm going to be using it in the future yet. I feel like I haven't yet incorporated even the aux call to be a natural part of my toolkit yet. I feel like I still kind of force myself to use it at times instead of just being like, oh, I need a bit more flow. Let me add some aux call. Similar to here, like I wonder if it's going to be like, what does this painting need? It needs some sort of gloss, some sort of shine. So this will be the thing to pull out. I feel like I'm at a stage in my watercolor where I want a bit more out of it, and I want to try different mediums and things to get some new effects. I've done like the salt crystals in the past, or some salt on the page, and then the the paper won't absorb the watercolor in those areas. That's always fun for like sandy textures and things like that. But I've not tried these kind of actual artist mediums. This is the third that I own now, being the first being masking fluid. I feel like that's the like essential watercolor medium, comes in like the beginner kits, and then I've got the aux gall now, iridescent medium. I feel like it adds a bit of a ethereal effect to the watercolor, and I don't know. It reminds me of being in the sky, like flying in a plane and looking down and like blinding your eyes with the reflections of the clouds. Reflection of the sea. You just can't look outside because the sun is just too bright. It also reminds me a bit of actually just the ocean. So I'm curious, what do you think about this painting? What did the iridescence add, or did it take away from what would be a simpler kind of composition? I am doing this video a little bit different. Usually I'm just showing off the wet page, but here I've already cleaned my brushes and I've let this painting fully dry. and flatten back a little bit. So this close-up is a bit more accurate of how this iridescent watercolor sits. You can see big blue areas where I didn't apply any of the iridescence, or very minimally, and it doesn't reflect, and it adds like a fair bit of texture and, in my opinion, a bit of depth, and that I quite like. This was honestly a really fun painting. It's always fun to try something new. Hope you can try something new this weekend. I hope you enjoy your weekend. As you know, for the YouTube thing, if you're new here, please subscribe, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, and I hope to see you here next week. Take care. Peace.